So yeah, so I have a question. Like, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think that as women that we share more intimate things with our friends than our spouses or our partners?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
Um,
Like
something's
about
popping.
ourselves, right?
Are we more authentic?
Like more vulnerable. Yeah.
No, I like where you were going with it. Um, I don't think we do. I mean, I don't.
You
I
don't
don't
what?
know why. I don't know why.
You don't what?
I don't think I'm as vulnerable in relationship as I am with my friends. Meaning like with my husband or with
Yeah,
past
you're not as
relationships.
vulnerable.
And
I,
I'm
I
not as authentic. Or I don't hold my authenticity long.
mm,
Like, so
mhm,
I can be consistently who I am with you, with friends that I've
mhm.
known for 20 years, and then friends that knew me from when I was a kid, they have an essence of who I am, and I'm still that person. Um, but probably in, like, romantic relationships, I'm just thinking about myself, I'm not even looking at, like, stats, but I probably am not as authentic as I am. I don't know why.
Mhm. I think
I
that's
think you're
true,
good at being authentic,
but
yourself.
I think with my friends, they're safer. I think my friends have proven to me, um, um, that I think they've proven to me that they're safer by emotionally responding, being accessible and available,
Okay.
and being empathetic. And I have found in my romantic relationships and in my past previous marriage that it's like it became about them. That when I became vulnerable, they either tried to fix it and
100%.
didn't actually acknowledge my feelings, right? Or they turned it into about them. And so I just never felt seen where my girlfriends hold space for me. They're like, that freaking sucks. Like, that's awful. Like, how could you? Oh my God. Like, they just feel it and they're there and they don't care if I need to process 5 times, right?
No,
Like,
they'll
their
listen.
capacity. And so I've learned to go really deep in those relationships. And I think too, I mean, what are remote women saying in the romantic relationship? What do they want? Emotional availability. They're looking for that in there. But I really think we're deeper in our friendships.
I think so too. You think we can be deeper in our in our intimate
Mhm.
relationships?
I mean,
Probably over
yes,
time.
yes, I think that we have to that's part of that deeper process of marriage that if you look up stuff with midlife relationships, that's one of the things that shift as women say to their partners, "I want depth now." We're not raising kids as much, like, our kids are growing, we're getting older, I want the real now, and
Mhm.
their expectations are going up in midlife, which I think is why a lot of divorces are happening, but they're saying, like, "I want the real now." Like, "I don't wanna do this, you wanna watch the ball game and don't talk to me, and, I want connection." So, they're raising the stakes, but, I mean, I think what's hard is that when if you haven't been doing it and you try to do it, it's hard because you're at a place of intolerance already, and they're like, "Wait, what? You want what from me?" Like, and then
Yeah.
they're trying to catch up, and we don't always have the patience for that catch up, right?
And I think it's a systemic, like, with when you're looking at it, like, in a systemic lens, like, there's, it's homeostasis, so it's like the system stays the same, and it'll force you back into that position. So if you decide you wanna change, you could do it
Forces the system to
gradually.
change,
Mhm.
and they
And
don't
the
like it.
system no. There's that exercise where you each hold this band, and when someone pulls on the band, that person but everybody is pulling back, and it's like a group exercise for,
Family system.
companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's no, it's like they do it like when you go on these corporate weekends, they'll do these little games that relate to showing you how systems force themselves into that space.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
groupthink where you wanna say something different, but when you do, everyone kinda just stares at you and you realize, "Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that." they're not gonna comply. They're gonna comply, they're not gonna, like, one for all for one, and no one's joining you. But that's a
Yeah.
system, and
So it's hard to stand on your own if you're saying, "This isn't working. This this kind of relating is not enough for me," and really hold it there and want your family to shift into that space or want your partner or your friends to shift into that space. That's that reckoning, because it's gonna cost something. I mean, if you say that and they say, "I can't," or "I don't need that. I don't need that kind of level of intimacy
or
and
"What's
connection."
wrong with you? Why do you need that?"
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
So
because the
yeah.
demand, it can feel demanding, but it's just you being honest and saying, like, "I just can't. I don't want this kind of relationship. I want something more." And it's not saying I wanna end it, but it's saying, I I need more from you, and how they respond, we don't know.
Yeah. It's funny, working with couples and families, how, people have these requests, um, and the other person might pull in, like, history or other experiences or things that happened,
Mhm.
um, and I usually will grab, like, a pillow and just literally put it between them and say, like, "This is what you're putting something in between you and the person," and it's hard to relate with someone
Mm.
when there's a big pillow right in front of you,
Is a pillow
and
like the thing that happened 15 years ago?
yeah,
That thing? Yeah. When it's well, why? Because there's no repair. So that
right.
pillow has been in that marriage for 15 years because nobody wants to acknowledge the damn pillow, instead of saying, "This thing right here, this hurt me," and then talking about how we can acknowledge and actually repair the relationship, which I think in general, people don't know how to do that. They think because, they text an apology that everything's fine now. That's
Yep,
not how this
it's
works. That's the human
not.
relationship. Yeah. You have
So
to
I
be able
will
to have.
take the pillow and I'll throw it on the ground and I'll be like, "What if we took it and we put it over there and we looked at it and like we just talked about it, what would we say?
Mhm.
How would we like deal with
Yeah.
it?"
To be more
And
objective.
lately,
Yeah.
because I really do have complex cases, I'll say, "You know what? I don't think we're gonna fix that. I think we're gonna have to figure out put that like dual processing, that's gonna go over here,
Mhm.
and we'll nip at it, like try to untangle it. But then what if we could today figure out like a new way to relate with each other and
Mhm.
things that are like
Mhm.
non-negotiables
Yeah.
now? What if we did that?"
Yeah, so what would that look like in a friendship? Let's say there's a long-term friendship, Ange, and there was something that happened, you know? And so because of that, one of the friends is distrustful, right? Um, how do they negotiate that?
I think expectations are a big thing for friends. Like I think I don't know, I've shared about this before. I've shared about it with her. We've talked about it, joked about it, but like I have a friend who, um, runs late, like 2 or 3 hours late to things. So if there's something that needs to, she's not my setup girl at all. And if I expect her to be my setup person, every time I'm going to be disappointed or
Mhm.
stressed out to see if they can follow through. So I think expectations are a big thing. Like I
Well,
think
knowing your friend.
knowing your friends and knowing what their capacity is or their patterns are, and then
Mhm.
setting your expectation with them. So that person,
Or boundary. Mhm.
yeah, I enjoy when they get there and it's usually later and we have
Mhm.
fun and they're usually there to the end. But
Mhm.
I rekindled a friendship. I think I was talking about it earlier. And she'll come early with party favors. And you're like, "Oh, I didn't know that I needed that.
Mm, mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's really amazing. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
So I think just setting expectations, I think, is a big thing. Um,
So, like, acknowledging the thing may or may not get fixed immediately, but can we continue in relationship and maybe adjust our expectations or communicate some boundaries or whatever in order to give space for the relationship to continue past that acknowledgement to see if it can continue and survive.
Yeah, and I think too, knowing your capacity when that person's gonna be in your life, what they can give.
Mhm.
I think that, we had a situation recently where you were talking about something and I went deep with it, and I felt like I pushed too hard, and I don't think I did ultimately when we talked about it, but,
Mhm.
like, reading getting to know your friends enough to know that, like, okay, if I tell Angie that or Angelique that, if I go there, she may go deep with it, so, like, maybe I won't talk to her about it when I don't have the time to hear it, kinda thing, or for me, it would be like, "Oh my gosh, when Lisa's sharing that with me, just hold it. You don't have to, like,
Mhm.
read the room," basically, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're not gonna share things with me consistently because I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole,
Mhm.
And I'm
Right.
exaggerating an example just because I think that there are some people that always wanna talk about the relationship and the feelings, and if you don't have the bandwidth at the time,
Yeah.
then you're gonna have to put them on hold for a second. So I think,
Mhm.
again, it goes back to expectations.
Expectations and knowing them, like, don't be naive
No.
about the friends that you're friends with. If, like you said, that's the friend that's always gotta bring the tea every time about everybody's
Yeah.
life when you meet, right? You already know that's what's gonna happen, or the friend that's gonna be late, or the friend that, like, needs to process 15 times the same thing. Know them. Like, know
Know
them,
them
right?
and know yourself, and
Exactly,
it's
and that's
okay
where
if you
the
can't fit them
yes.
in that spot.
Well, that's the boundaries where you're like, "Okay, I know this friend, I know what's coming, so, like, she needs more time, and I don't have that, so let me communicate. I can't now, but, like, I can here," right? To be the friend you wanna be, but in a way that you can have capacity for.
You've said that to me before in text when we were like in recent, not recently, but like probably in the last couple years. And I went, I love that. I love that. Like, okay, I want to be present with you on this, but I can't right
Mhm,
now. So let's talk tomorrow. And
mhm.
I get that. That's clear.
Yeah,
I do think that's a great strategy.
yeah. Because 'Cause I've initially tried that with people, and then they've kind of pushed back and been like, "Well, I just talked to somebody else because you weren't available." And it's like, "Great, I'm glad that you did that." But they
I'm glad
say
that
it to be mean, they say it to like, "Well, you weren't there," and I'm like, "I can't always be there. I can't be your only person." That's
no.
that's so much pressure on me. So good, do that, right? We have to release that's another thing, right? We have to release, like, people can't be our everything. One person can't be our everything, not our partner
No.
and not one friend. Like, you have to understand
No.
that people are busy and have limits and and work with those work with that, right? Some people are
Yeah.
better than others about being connected and some just can't they don't have the same tolerance or capacity.
Yeah.
So don't expect that, right? Again, it goes back to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reckoning, it happens, girls. It happens. It's okay. It's
It's
normal.
okay.
Some people make it through the fire of midlife and all the hormone changes and all the life changes, and some don't, and that's okay, right? It's okay to let things go. It's okay to invest hard. Like, you get to have the choice. The beauty of midlife.
That's the beauty of midlife. One of the beautiful things.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, have a
Have a
great
good day.
day.